That's what it is. The three, what they did there, that set up a WrestleMania program.
But see, like, I still think there's an argument, and I posted this on TikTok, on our TikTok. I don't know that many people are going to be super invested in CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I think the story there is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. That's what people want to see. We haven't seen the end of that. And there's so much history there. Not to mention, Seth got involved in the match that led to Roman losing the title after almost 4 years as champion just last year at WrestleMania 40. So, like, if you're going to remove like Drew McIntyre from any sort of something with the bloodline, because it looked like he was going to be doing something like the bloodline hunter thing, I feel like instead of forcing a triple threat, because you also don't want it to be Punk versus Roman, and you didn't want it to be Punk versus Gunther or Punk versus Cody, then they need to have it be Roman versus Seth. I think that's the match. And then you have to find something else for Punk, because, like, to me, he feels like the odd one out. The history is just not there in the same way as it is between Rollins and Reigns. Like, it's not the same at all.
It is.
It's not
a little bit more.
You know why it's not the same?
Because why isn't it the same?
Because Punk was gone for 10 years. The two of them have that history. They have 10 more years of history. It doesn't matter that the Shield was created to be his bodyguard originally.
That's the whole point. No. That's the story. What do you mean?
But that didn't even happen.
The
Shield didn't even do it. That isn't what the Shield ended up being. And he left not that long
because
after that.
Because they got bigger than Punk.
But exactly. So there's no history there. It doesn't matter. But the thing is,
they got bigger than Punk. There you can make a story out of that.
He left not that long after. So it's
exactly.
Roman and Seth have 10 years more history between them, with a lot of stuff that everybody has been begging to see. So why throw Punk into that? Have Punk do something else. Like, I want to see, like, and that's the thing. Do Punk Cody. If you're going to have Jay and just pick Gunther, then do Punk Cody. There's a great storyline there. I would rather see that than a random ass triple threat.
I want to see a triple threat. I want to see a triple threat. I want to see Punk Cody. That's great. I want to see a triple threat.
I think that's
there's so much. No, there's so much to dive into.
No, I think you're wrong.
There's so much history there.
No, there's not.
All three sides.
What's the history? What is the history between Roman and Seth and Punk that is better than the history between Roman and Seth directly?
We've already seen the history of Roman Seth anyways played out a little bit.
Roman's never beaten Seth. So
okay, so that's going to continue. They're still going to wrestle for, like, keep them, like, they're still going to be there. Punk and Roman had beef even when Punk was still in the company. They didn't want to wrestle each other. His whole thing there. And then, as you already said, the Shield. They were supposed to be Punk's bodyguards.
But that's not what happened. So that's not history. Just because you're like, oh, this is what should have been.
That's not history. That's what happened.
But it's not, because they didn't. Nothing happened. That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing happened. They didn't clash. There wasn't like CM Punk versus the Shield. It wasn't like, oh, you were supposed to be my bodyguards and he feuded with them. That's not what happened.
There's backstage. There's the same history there.
But that's not relevant to the average fan. They're not sitting there looking at dirt sheets. You advocate for that all the time. Well, this is what happened on TV, so that's what we're going off of. So you can't integrate things that happen behind the scenes if we didn't see it. Little 10-year-old Jimmy didn't see it.
Then it's all right. If you want to go on screen now, Wiseman, Paul Heyman.
But that to me would make more sense for him to have a one-on-one match with Roman than have a triple threat match. How does that do anything?
Because the triple threat match sets up and branches off into singles matches for the upcoming year.
I would almost say Punk versus Rollins makes more sense. If you want
Mania, yeah,
do Punk. But this is what I'm saying. I don't like the triple threat. The triple threat doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense, but
it makes
because
sense.
It's Mania, you don't want to have multi-man matches.
It's not just that. I think that these three guys deserve better than a triple threat like that. because they could put on bangers separately. If you do Punk versus Roman, that's a banger. If you do Roman versus Seth, that's a banger. Like, we don't need to just force these 3 guys into a match because you have nothing else to do, you know? And that's kind of what it feels like, because it's like, there's other things that you can do that involve them, and it doesn't have to be a forced triple threat.
I don't think it's forced. I'm
think it's
okay.
forced. It felt like that was forced to me.
I think exactly what happened at the Rumble makes it not forced at all.
But the reason why they did that at the Rumble was to force it, because otherwise, what are we doing? And Rollins has more beef with Roman. He has like behind the scenes beef with Punk.
Rollins and Punk have unfinished business.
Well, but he has 10 plus years of unfinished business with Roman.
Okay.
I would so much rather see Seth versus Roman. Because this is the thing,
I would rather much see a triple threat over Seth versus Roman at Mania.
Seth versus Roman, that's main event night 1.
Okay. No. Okay.
Well, Roman's main eventing night 1 no matter what, because they want to keep that streak going. Cody will main event night 2, but
you don't think Charlotte? Yeah, no.
Charlotte is Charlotte's not gonna. Nope, absolutely not. Roman has to main event. Roman has to main event. He's main evented 10 in a row, so he has to main event. That's not a question.
He doesn't have to.
Yes, we're getting to a point where they're going to turn it into this era streak. That's what it's going to be. That's why they keep saying it. Wow. Did you know that Roman this is his 10th main event at WrestleMania? They're going to keep doing that. It's going to become like the Undertaker streak. That's what it's going to be. So they're going to keep having him main event.
Or Rhea Ripley defending or one of those title matches.
You really think that, let's say it's Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. You think Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton or Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky?
It's not. I mean, I'm just thinking of more quality.
They never do that shit. That's what I've been telling you that.
But no, the never fucking main event. There's not, because right now there's no.
But that's why I said when the Rumble winner wins, they shouldn't say that. Don't say you get a main event. No, the fuck you don't. The only time they've done that was with like Becky and Charlotte and Ronda or Sasha versus Bianca. It's like that. Those are the only times that they've really cared. Otherwise, they don't ever build the women up to be like the main event of Mania. They never do that. They are always hyper fixated on the men.